I want to say this to you. Yesterday, I told my moms, I said, Mom, I said, I cried yesterday because of the individual, because I've been there. I've done that. Rode that ride and bought that t-shirt, that emotional roller coaster, right? But it was full circle moment. I cried for her, the things that she's been through, because they touched my spirit and my soul. But I also cried for the fact that I was going to let this go. And my spirit, my God, right? My higher power said, nah, bruh, that's not what we doing. I got something greater later for you. You just keep on doing what you're doing. You keep on with Titan in the morning. You keep on going live and speaking your ish. Y'all, this is how I talk to my high power. I don't know how you talk to your God, but this is how I talk to my God. This is what it is. When I dial that number and I call it up, we have a real conversation, right? And yesterday I stood there, and in that moment, when I got done with my presentation and I watched everybody's eyes, and I said, whoa, you're right. You're right, God. You're right. You're right. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Exactly with the followers that I have. Exactly where I'm supposed to be with my village, my tribe, my gang, and my chosen family. Exactly where I need to be to effect change. Exactly how I show up. My spirit is my spirit, and that's all that it can be. I went and sat in my car for a while, y'all. I know my purpose, but it's a wonderful thing when the universe, when God sends a reminder to you. I showed somebody that presentation years ago, and they asked me, why would I do a presentation like that? I've done the presentation a total of 5 times, yesterday being the fifth. Keep going. Keep going. Keep pushing. Do you? There's a lane out there. There's a journey. There's a car. There's a speed limit. There's a whole universe out there for you. You keep pushing and going. Things are going to happen. Things are going to be. But yesterday, amongst other things that have happened this year in particular, I have been reminded that all of what I've been doing was not just for GP. It has a purpose. It has meaning, because I'm standing in who I am and what I am and what I represent and how I show up. I'm not going to apologize for the tears. I'm not going to apologize for the emotions, because it's warranted. You do not have to apologize. And this is what I told the young lady yesterday. You do not have to apologize. She said she apologized for disrupting my presentation. And I told her, no, no, you will never apologize for that. I'm your family. I'm your community. I am here for you. In this space, you are always welcome. You are always welcome, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, to do what you feel. You don't have to hold it back. And you don't have to apologize for being human. You do not have to apologize here. I'm your family now, right? You come on in and you do that. And I'm not asking you for anything outside of what you're willing to give. But we don't do that here. We're community, we're family. You have a safe space, a brave space, and a space to where you can come and be who you are. Be exactly what God made you to be. The things that have happened to you, right? You want to speak on them, you speak on them. If you don't, you don't. But this is your space. Y'all, I'm coming to the end. Years ago, almost 4 or 5 years ago, I sat in a meeting with about 5 individuals. And I said, we have to make change because I feel like we're going backwards. I feel like we're just checking boxes and we're not looking at the human aspect of individuals living with HIV. When they tell you, I'm ex-military, I'm a veteran, so I know about sucking it up and driving on. I know about towing the line. I know about, you eat it now and taste it later. I know about hurry up and waiting. I know about your feelings sometimes are not, you're not able to express them. I get that. But I'm human and I can only take so much. And so I'm in this meeting with them. And I'm telling them that we got to change the way that we deal with clients and patients and people, right? Because we have taken the human aspect out of it. And you know what they told me? They told me all those years ago, Titan, that's not going to work. That's taking too long. We got to get them in and get them out. We got to do what we got to do. We got to do all of this. And I was saying, y'all, that's not right. Like something is going on here, right? And y'all know that the battle, right, is oftentimes spiritual. And they were like, oh, well, here you go with all of this. We don't have time for that. I proposed, right, to take time with individuals. I proposed to creating a space, right, so that these people could have a moment, have a human moment to be who they are. You just gave them some detrimental news. They can't process it. How do they process it? And y'all, this all came from my experience. And these people told me, no, this year when I left, right, all of the things that I was doing over here to come over here and start the Titan Capri experience, that was the experience. That was what I wanted to have. Yesterday was the experience. Now, I've had experiences like that, but y'all, I come a different way. And this is not a brag or a boast, but if you feel it's a brag or a boast, then that's what it is. What I'm saying to you is that what somebody told me was a no-go, what somebody told me that would not work 4 or 5 years ago, look at it now, right? So it may not have worked the way that you thought it should have worked then, but look at where you are now. I stayed true to who I am. I stayed true to what I bring to the table. I made my own presentations because people had their presentations. And then I was sitting here doing people's presentations that they created. And that's not me. And I'm saying this is not right. But then the higher powers were telling me that I couldn't use the presentation because it had Titan written all over it. Yesterday, that presentation popped up on that screen and it had Titan on it. It had my face and my name. It had my understanding. It had my lived experience on that. And I know y'all are probably saying people's first language. Well, how powerful can that really be? But y'all, language is how we communicate. Language is how we open doors and we close doors. Language and all of that, right, runs the nation. What you say has power. There's power in the tongue, and y'all know what I'm talking about. I could not reach the people that I'm reaching now if I would have caved in and let them tell me to not do it. So I went home all those years ago and I produced what I thought would be something that I just use. And then they said, well, Titan, can you come and present here? And of course, you got to send in the information, right? You got to let it be known because we got to make sure that we watch what happens. Da, 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 da. You don't have anything that could be, all of the stuff like that. But I said, let me just have a conversation. Let me make it generic in the sense of aesthetically, it's what needs to be said, right? However, I'm going to lead the conversation. I'm going to lead the charge, bringing my whole Titan into this. So this morning, when I say check in with yourself, where you are. I knew there had to be some way that I could change this. I knew that I was not put on this earth just for me to sit here and go in circles and twiddle my thumbs. I knew that I had something. And yesterday, I stood back and I wept because I saw it. I felt it. I understood it. The way that they all came to me afterwards, in their own way, shaking my hand, wanting to hug, things like that, and me just living my life and being who I am, I thank God for it. I thank the universe for it. I thank the spirit for it. I thank all of this because everything that I've been through has led me to this space now. And who would have thought in 2024 that I would be sitting here doing the things that I am doing, being on stages, being in front of individuals, presenting, facilitating all of these things, right? But it was because I said that it had to be me. It had to be me being me. That's what it had to be. Y'all with me?